It was 2:47 a.m. when Ruth, a lively 71-year-old, suddenly collapsed on her bedroom floor. There was no chest pain or warning, just a sudden fall in the silence of the night. Ruth had no idea that a nightly habit she'd carried out for years was quietly increasing her stroke risk. And she's far from the only one. Many older adults follow similar routines, drinking, sleeping, medicating, without realizing that small, repeated actions at bedtime can either safeguard the brain or put it in danger. You might be thinking, but I take my prescribed medications, stay active, follow all the doctor's instructions. Exactly. That is why this message matters deeply. Stroke isn't always triggered by a dramatic event or obvious mistake. Often, it's a series of tiny, seemingly harmless habits done at the wrong time, and bedtime is the perfect risk zone. In this video, I'll take you gently through what happened in Ruth's case, what her doctors discovered, and what thousands of other seniors are learning, sometimes too late. You'll understand how routine bedtime habits, like how much water you drink, how you position yourself in bed, and even how you turn off devices, can shift your risk. But you'll also learn simple, practical changes that can protect your brain while you sleep and help you sleep better in the process. First, let's look at how your body works while you sleep, especially after age 65. Sleep is meant to be restorative, but in older adults, it can also be a time of vulnerability. Here's why. Bedtime triggers automatic changes. Your heart rate slows, blood pressure dips, breathing becomes shallower. This conserves energy and gives healing a chance. But for seniors, these changes can sometimes go too far. Blood pressure may drop excessively. Breathing might become so light that oxygen levels dip. And sleeping completely flat removes the assistive effect of gravity that helps drain blood from your head. This isn't a problem for everyone, but for those with weakened veins, stiff arteries, or undiagnosed sleep apnea, things can get dangerous. Sleep apnea causes brief breathing pauses that reduce oxygen and spike blood pressure throughout the night. Waking repeatedly to pee or shifting positions can trigger sudden blood pressure surges. Together, these create a kind of roller coaster effect inside your head when your brain should be resting. It's like riding a faulty elevator in the dark. Over time, that stress can lead to vessel damage, microbleeds, or even a stroke. Now, imagine Ruth lying flat after having had a few glasses of water before bed. Her breathing was becoming shallow. Her cardiovascular system was treading a fine line. That fall in the middle of the night wasn't accidental. It was the final whisper of unbalanced nighttime pressure. It was a warning, and it could have been prevented. That's why the first set of changes we'll discuss focuses on nighttime hydration, both quantity and timing. Hydration is essential, yes, but in older adults, when you drink matters just as much as how much. Rule number 1. Stop drinking about 90 minutes before lying down. It sounds simple, but doing this gives your kidneys time to clear fluids and lowers your risk of nocturia, waking up to use the bathroom, which can cause lightheadedness, even falls, and spikes in blood pressure from standing quickly. One clinical study in 2014 showed that older adults who shifted their evening hydration schedule experienced 47% fewer nighttime awakenings. That means deeper sleep and less cardiovascular stress. Rule 2. Front-load your fluids during the day. Sustainability isn't about drinking everything at night to catch up. Water absorbs best when your body is active. Try concentrating your 7 to 9 daily cups before 6 p.m. That's the recommendation from the Mayo Clinic for older adults. This simple adjustment helps keep your hydration reserves topped up without forcing a nighttime bathroom trip. Rule 3. Choose your bedtime liquids wisely. Sugary drinks, Coffee and alcohol don't hydrate. They stimulate, dehydrate, or both. Instead, consider a small glass of room temperature water with a pinch of pink Himalayan salt and a squirt of lemon about 2 hours before bed. This mildly salted water helps restore electrolyte balance, eases overnight dehydration, and doesn't put stress on your bladder. Those 3 hydration habits aren't just for comfort. They're small steps with a big impact on blood pressure stability, circulation, and stroke prevention. Pausing before bed, building hydration early, and choosing gentle fluids can significantly protect your brain while you rest and set the stage for a safer, more refreshing sleep. When we left off, we were discussing how hydration sets the stage, and now it's time to look at sleep position, an often overlooked element that can significantly protect your brain and reduce stroke risk overnight. Many older adults sleep flat on their backs, thinking it's natural or comfortable. But lying fully horizontal can stop gravity from assisting blood flow out of the head and reduce airway openness. For someone with aging vessels, stiff arteries, or mild sleep apnea, like Ruth, this small issue can become dangerous. Research from the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases shows that sleeping flat increases nighttime stroke risk by roughly 23% in seniors, especially those with high blood pressure or vascular issues. The solution is surprisingly simple. Elevate the head and upper torso by 10-30 degrees with a wedge pillow or adjusted mattress. That slight incline allows cerebrospinal and blood fluids to flow more efficiently from the brain and keeps airways more open, reducing pressure and improving oxygen circulation. Plus, there's an additional benefit to side sleeping, especially on the left side. A landmark study in Journal of Neuroscience back in 2015 showed that left-side sleeping enhances the brain's glymphatic system, which flushes metabolic waste and toxins like beta-amyloid out of the brain more effectively. Left-side sleepers enjoyed more efficient brain detoxification, which is critical in reducing risks of stroke and dementia. So tonight, try tilting your mattress or propping up with pillows. Elevate your head and favor your left side. But adjustments to posture won't hold weight if your sleep environment is constantly undermining your efforts. Room temperature, light exposure, and the placement of electronic devices all play roles in cardiovascular stress and sleep quality. Let's start with temperature. Many older adults increase room heat to feel cozy. Yet overheating puts stress on your heart and blood pressure regulation during sleep. The ideal bedtime temperature lies between 60 to 67 degree Fahrenheit, C15 to 19 degree Celsius. In this range, your body does not struggle to regulate, reducing strain and supporting deeper, healthier sleep. The Lancet published a study noting higher stroke incidence on nights when room temperatures were outside that optimal window, highlighting how simple temperature control can help your long-term brain health. Next, blue light exposure. Screens, TVs, tablets, phones emit blue light, which suppresses melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep. But melatonin does more. It has neuroprotective effects, including reducing inflammation and protecting against stroke severity. One study in oxidative medicine and cellular longevity found that low nighttime melatonin levels corresponded with worse stroke outcomes in older adults. If you're browsing before bed or watching a show, switch off glowing screens at least 1 hour before sleep. Instead, opt for dim amber lighting or use night mode filters to minimize blue wavelengths. Another often forgotten factor is electromagnetic exposure. Wi-Fi routers, cordless phones, bedside chargers all emit low-level electromagnetic fields. While the research isn't definitive, there are indications that these emissions can disrupt sleep, especially in sensitive individuals. Stroke recovery clinics in Europe and Japan often recommend reducing nighttime EMF exposure. Put devices on airplane mode, unplug routers in the bedroom, and keep electronics 2 feet away from your pillow. At this stage, all the pieces may seem subtle, but when combined, hydration, sleep posture, room temperature, light, and electronic exposure, they produce a powerful synergy. Your bed becomes more than a place to rest. It becomes a sanctuary that supports your brain's overnight resilience. But how do you put these changes into action without it feeling overwhelming? Purposeful bedtime rituals can make these habits automatic. Here are 3 easy practices inspired by stroke recovery clinics around the world. First, before getting into bed, spend 5 minutes doing gentle neck and shoulder stretches. Roll your shoulders forward and backward 10 times. Gently tilt your head side to side, then tuck and release your chin. Pair this with calm, paced breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6. These movements help activate the vagus nerve, your body's natural rest and digest system. A Frontiers in Neurology 2021 study showed that such routines reduced nighttime blood pressure spikes by 17% in older participants. It's simple, it's calming, and it sets the tone for rest. Second, elevate your legs while lying down. After positioning yourself, prop your legs on pillows or rest them against a wall for 5 to 10 minutes. This encourages the fluid in your legs to drain back to your heart, eases cardiac load, and often reduces overnight cramps or morning puffiness. A study in the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology found that older adults who used this habit enjoyed better blood pressure in the morning and fewer leg cramps within just 2 weeks. Third, establish a steady sensory sleep cue, a small ritual your brain learned to associate with sleep. This might include a lavender or chamomile spray, soft ambient sounds like ocean waves, or a soothing leg massage with magnesium oil. A Japanese study involving older stroke survivors found that those who practiced a nightly ritual with sensory cues fell asleep 28% faster and slept more soundly through the night. If your stimulus remains consistent, a scent, a sound, or a touch, your brain recognizes it as a sleep trigger. Up to this point, we've covered behaviors and environment, but there's another critical piece: medication and supplement timing. Many older adults unknowingly combine drugs and supplements that interact especially poorly at night. First, using blood pressure medications alongside diuretics before bed can result in dangerously low nighttime blood pressure. This nocturnal hypotension often leads to morning dizziness and fainting, common precursors to a stroke. Large-scale studies have found such nightly combinations doubled the risk of slippage in early morning hours. The solution? Ask your doctor if you can move your diuretic to earlier in the day and use a home wrist BP monitor to track nighttime readings. Second, many combine prescription sleep aids or antihistamines like Benadryl with nighttime sleeping supplements. Taken together, these can suppress breathing, especially in those with undiagnosed sleep apnea, and lead to confusion, falls, or circulatory instability. Research in drugs and aging shows a 3-fold increase in stroke-like symptoms when these medications are combined in people over 70. Opt for non-drug sleep practices and consult your provider for cleaning up combinations. Third, people often don't realize that blood thinners like warfarin become even more potent when paired with fish oil or turmeric supplements. This combination can dangerously increase bleeding risk, potentially posing a hemorrhagic stroke risk. A 2018 meta-analysis emphasized the need to inform all doctors about supplement use. Fourth, grapefruit and statin users. Grapefruit inhibits liver enzymes that clear statins. Taken at night, the mix can elevate statin levels, leading to possible vascular strain and toxicity. Even grapefruit supplements carry this risk. Avoid them unless your provider approves. Lastly, certain antidepressants combined with herbal sedatives, CBD, valerian, St. John's wort, can lead to serotonin overload. That affects heart rhythm and brain function, especially at night. Studies show older adults are more vulnerable to these interactions, which can increase stroke risk and cognitive issues. These points aren't meant to scare. They're about informed, empowered care. Talk openly with your provider about your complete regimen and rethink nighttime timing with your healing and safety in mind. Which brings us to a critical piece of sleep: your brain's cleanup crew. During deep sleep, the glymphatic system, a specialized waste removal network, flushes out toxins, protein buildup, and vascular debris. But it only works in undisturbed deep sleep. Every bathroom trip, shift, snoring episode, or dip in oxygen disrupts it. Without this cleanup, waste accumulates, blood vessels weaken, and the protective repair never happens. Over time, this neglected system can be a hidden cause of decline. By creating steady, restorative sleep through better hydration, supportive sleep posture, calm pre-bed habits, and strategic medication timing, you actively support this unseen but vital process. All of these steps are about preventing the kind of silent damage that Ruth experienced. She thought she was healthy. She did all the right things. But unconscious habits made her brain vulnerable. For many older adults, stroke is not a sudden event. It's a story written in countless nights. But here's the hopeful part. We can rewrite that story with gentle, manageable choices. Tonight, you can start with one small change. Stop drinking fluids 90 minutes before bed. Or prop your head up. Or spend 5 minutes softly stretching and breathing. These aren't dramatic interventions. They're simple, sustainable acts of care that collectively reduce stress, calm your heart, and protect your mind. Overnight. Stroke prevention doesn't begin in the emergency room. It begins quietly in your bedroom. It begins tonight.